Hello and welcome to Miss German Let's Talk. Here we dive into the wildest, funniest, and darkest Reddit stories. So grab a drink, sit back, and let's get right into today's episode. So we have one Reddit user who is writing the question: what secret have you and your sibling managed to keep from your parents? So those are going to be like small stories, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be crazy. Let's get right into it. That my little sister didn't break her arm by accidentally falling off the bunk bed, but rather that she broke her arm when we flung her off it during a game of King of the Hill bunk bed. My parents were out at aerobic class. They have parents who take aerobic classes together? That's interesting. In a very pre-cell phone age, we just tried to keep her comfortable and waited patiently for them to get home. We did finally tell them last year, and they thought it was hilarious. We kept that secret for close to 30 years. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. I don't know. Parents taking together aerobic classes or like keeping the secret for 30 years. That's actually discipline to keep it up that long. Like if I have a secret together with my sibling or just for myself and I keep telling I tell that my family maybe in like 4 or 5 years later when it doesn't matter at all, but like 30 years, that's discipline. Let's continue with the next one. That my sister got arrested in college for stealing hay to spread around a friend's yard as a heard the fuck you. Had to find an adult who knew how to bail her out because I was 17, then wait for hours just to drive her drunk ass back to her dorms. Her punishment from the judge was to volunteer at a local barn shoveling hay and horse poop around. Honestly, from the judge, that's a really reasonable sentence to do. It's funny to say bail, but it's actually really reasonable. And it could have been gone worse, right? But to pay a fine or something. But I think that's quite okay, right? Isn't it? Next story, guys. Next story. I was only about 9, 10 when my older brother would get home from high school. He would constantly ring the doorbell for me to open the door. He has his own keys, but he just kept ringing. It annoyed me almost every day. You see, that's the part about siblings. Like, it's not that they don't want to, it's just they love you so much that your presence and your reaction of annoyance will make them do the thing over and over again just because of your reaction. One day I started yelling out to open it himself. He kicks the window by the door. It shatters and a tiny shard cuts my foot. No big deal, just a band aid fix. We call mom and dad saying someone threw a rock, and my brother even found a rock outside as evidence. Mom and dad called the police. Later, when they got home, police arrived. There's a full report done, and my brother and I have never mentioned the story again. I'm glad that it wasn't some hardcore detective shit where he asked how I injured my foot. Damn. Well, that the police has to take like a full report about that. Well, guys, good that you kept it as a secret, so to speak. I mean, you could have just. I mean, I mean, you guys should have told it. It wasn't that big of a deal at the end of the day. Like you could say it was like an accident, and okay, I wouldn't know how shattering like a window and you the guys did it would be an accident. But let's continue with the next story. For some dumb reason, my parents' high school reunion was in January. In Ohio, they decided to get a hotel closer to the event space since we lived in a rural area, leaving the kids alone in the house. Naturally, we threw a giant ass party. Everything seemed to be fine around 3 a.m. after cleaning up. But we noticed that people had parked on the grass, leaving tire tracks all over the lawn. We were totally fucked. The next morning, we woke up and we are blessed to find a full blanket of snow covering everything inside. It stayed on the ground for ample enough time that the tracks became totally unnoticeable. Parents still don't know about it. 19 years later, you guys should tell it after like amount, let's say, what's the right amount of years? Tell me in the comments below. What would be the right amount of years to like hide a secret from your parents together with your sibling? Like at one point, I think if you're like a grown ass bitch, they don't care. They will just be like, okay, you're independent, you have your job, you have your children, your husband, your wife, and then gonna be like, all right, cool, buddy. And here we have a user saying, I have a story based on the opposite. My parents and I had a secret we kept from my brother. Okay, we're okay with that. We can deal. We can delve into that. Well, he lied to my parents a lot and had a tendency to do whatever he wanted, regardless of the consequences. So, my parents had that family locator plan so they could track him. Basically, they could see him as a little pink dot on a map. It was actually a good thing that they had it, as they were able to find him after he left the party one night with a concussion. Somehow, my brother never knew. Eventually, my parents forgot about the locator when my brother was in college, but they still had it until one of my brother's best friends, still not sure why my parents told him about it, informed my brother that he was nothing more than a pink dot to my parents. Good times. I mean, is it right from the parents and you to like keep tracking a person? But we could like debate on that ethically, but also like listen, if he's a minor and he does a lot of tons of shit and you just want to like know where your child is and you don't want to get him having in too much trouble, like let's see, like here, right, he had one night with a concussion, so imagine you wouldn't have found him. That would have been like end really badly for him. Next story, guys. Next story. My mom and her new husband took a belated honeymoon trip to New Orleans, which was where he used to live in his early adult life, while they ran into one of his old friends who had begun selling artwork as a street vendor. My mom secretly bought a beautiful one of a kind drawing from the vendor and as a Christmas gift for her husband, and I suggested I build a frame and mount it while my less crafty brother paid for materials. She agreed to this great, thoughtful family gift and gave me the drawing to work on the frame. The house I was living in was very small, so I just had enough space in my room for a desk and a craft station in my room when the door was closed. It's a very cute story till now. As I was working on it, my roommate slammed open my door and knocked over an ink bottle from an unrelated project and completely ruined the artwork. Okay, there it is, guys. There it is. The fucking. The fucking happened right there. After talking about what to do, my brother and I decided to use clues from my mom's trip photos to find the vendor. Eventually found him through Facebook. We messaged him, bought another very similar drawing, had it overnighted to me, and I finished up the frame on schedule. Mom never found out, and it's now prominently displayed on the wall immediately inside their front door. I cannot imagine. It's actually very smooth. Like, I'm impressed by this thing. Like, you guys went all the way down the rabbit hole of finding this guy on Facebook, that and through only pictures of your mom's trip. That's impressive, I gotta say this. But imagine now like the situation that you and your sibling will always be in. Like, you will see that picture somewhere on the wall, right? And every single time you walk into the house, you can give each other the look of, oh, that time the fucking happened, but we somehow resolved it in a very smooth way, and nobody knows except you guys. Well, I find this is a very cute story. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today's episode. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more. I'll be back soon with more crazy Reddit stories. See you next time. Bye.